Hey everybody, this is John. I'd like to walk you through the updates for the Level Up Alpha Indicator version 1.8. And the features that I've added are all related to working with a prior day high and low, as well as the current day high and low. One of the motivations for doing this is I've been spending a fair amount of time studying the work of Linda Raschke. Linda was a professional trader. She was a floor trader for a number of years. She was also a hedge fund manager, and she's been written up in several books, including Jack Schwager's New Market Wizards. In early videos, one of the things that Linda mentioned consistently was the importance of a prior day high and low. And in fact, down in the lower left, I included one of the quotes from one of the videos where she said, if I could only trade with one indicator, it would be the previous day's high and low. And the reason this is so important is this is an area where support and resistance often come in. And these are the most visible chart points for all market participants. They're also very strong psychological markers. I found that really interesting. And so as I started spending a little bit more time, I thought it would be helpful to add some additional features to the Level Up indicator to help highlight these areas of a prior day high and a prior day low. So let's begin by looking at the configuration options in version 1.8. This is the default setup as it relates to the prior day high and low, as well as the current day high and low. You can specify the line that's shown here on the top and the bottom for the high and the low, and the same here for the current day. There's also this option to do the shaded area. And we can see here that we can also extend the prior day high line into the current day, as well as the prior day low. So let's go ahead and go into settings, and I'll show you those options as well as a few additional. We scroll down here to the section Daily Highs and Lows on the intraday chart. We can turn off the lines, so the dashed line here and the same up here, we can turn those off and on. If I turn those back on, we can also go in and change the line style. So in this case, we have the current day has the dotted style, and the prior day is a straight line. I'm going to go ahead and put those back to the defaults. And you can also turn off and on the fill. So if you don't care to have the fill shown on the chart, you can turn that off and you can turn it back on. You can also specify the color of the fill. So in this case, the default is gray, but if you're on a white background, you may choose a different color for the fill. Here's another option that I think you might find helpful. You can extend the prior day line. So currently with this setup, you can see here the prior day high and low are just included in this area. We've got the lines and the fill, but if we turn on the extension of the prior day line, it's a lot easier to see these areas of support and resistance for the current day. You can also extend the prior day fill. So in addition to the line, you can see this entire area is now filled. So if I turn off the fill on the current day, it would look similar to this. So at a glance, when you're looking at the chart, you can see this is the entire price action from, well, this is the price action from the prior day, but it extends to the trading day, so you can see at a glance if you're hitting an area of support that's relevant as it relates to the prior day high or low. So let's go back to the default settings, and I'm going to turn the fill on for both the current day and the prior day, and I'm going to turn off the extension of the fill for the prior day. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few more charts. I can show you some use cases of how these highs and lows can be helpful. So in this particular chart, we can see here that the prior day high was clearly providing supportive action right here, where the price moved up, pulled right back to the prior day high, bounced, and continued heading higher. Here's SPY for the day. Price action from yesterday was heading down. We opened in that same range. We moved up for the day and then started to head down. We bounced right off of the prior day low and closed right about the same as where we opened for the day. Here's one more supportive action example. Prior day moving up. We went up for part of the day, came back down right here from the prior day high. We had supportive action and then the price moved up. It also works going the other way. So here's some examples of resistance. So here's the prior day in this range. We moved up to the previous day high and we found resistance at that level, and then from there the price continued to head down for the day. In this particular example, with the prior day, the price was moving down. We gapped lower for the day, we moved up, and then we found resistance right here at the prior day low. Several times you can see we hit that price area, and then we closed right in that same general range. Here's another symbol. This is Datadog, price heading down for the prior day. Here's the opening bar. We moved up right to the prior day low, found resistance, and then continued to head down. Let me show you a few examples of how it can be helpful to see when we're actually living above a prior day high or low. So the price action from the previous day was pretty steady in this price range, and then we very quickly moved right up through the prior day high and just continued heading up for the day. Similar example here. We had sideways price action from the previous day. We very quickly moved up from the prior day high and continued to move up throughout the day. It also applies where we can live below the previous day high or low. In this case, here's the price action from the previous day. We very quickly sliced right through there and headed down for the great majority of the day. When you're looking at inside days, it can be helpful to get a little bit more detail than you can see on a daily chart. So if we look at the daily chart here, here's the two bars we're looking at. You can see that this is an inside day. When you pull it up on an intraday chart, you can get a little more detail. You can see that here's where the price action was moving sideways for part of the previous day, and then it ended down. And here we opened right in that same price range, and then we continued to head up for the day. So this is clearly bullish action as it relates to this stock. Here's another one. This is IBM, similar idea, where yesterday we were heading down. Today we opened up in that same general area, and then we headed up for the price. We headed up for much of the day, and this again is an inside day. There's also the option to get a little bit more information when we have indecision. So we can see here that we were heading down from the previous day, and on this inside day we essentially just went sideways throughout the entire day. If I pull this up here on the daily chart, you can see the price action opened right here and it closed right in the same place. The final example I'd like to show you is another indecision. So the previous day we moved up, we pulled back slightly here at the end of the day. Today we gapped up, and then we came back down and found support right here at the prior day high, and then we eventually moved through the prior day high and continued heading lower, and then we went right back up to that prior day high and closed just below it. So I hope you found this video helpful. I think you'll enjoy these new features. I appreciate your support of my work, and we'll see you in the next video.